Okay, guys, it's Saturday morning. I wasn't supposed to have a job today, but it came in. The lady called. We're at this Florida place. Anyway, it's the unit to the right. We got here early. Everybody's probably still sleeping, but they don't have any power. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start off with their panel, and then see what we find from there. All right, let's see what we got in here, Benny. Okay, it looks like, why don't you take that panel off, because they said over half of the place is out. So I'd like to just check the two legs coming in up there and see what we got. We'll start up here and then we'll work our way down. We'll see if there's anything dead. It's probably just a GFCI somewhere, but she insisted that it's in the breaker panel, but I only take so much into what people tell me. So be careful, don't hang on that. There you go. All right, get your tester and let's see what we got there. Yeah, maybe it's that main. That main is spongy. Don't touch it though.
One. No.
Where?
Looks like it's coming off.
Nah,
Bare copper bare.
no, this is just stretched. It shrunk up over the years. Get the tester and we'll test it. Alright guys, what we're going to do is we're going to test this panel. Normally these two legs are coming in from the street. So let's just go there first. Let's ground off over here. And we have nothing. Then let's come up here. Now we have something. Nothing. We got one leg out. Now let's come up here. We got 110 and nothing. Now, if I was to touch these two, I should have 220, and I only have 110. So we got a bag leg coming in right here. Half this is so now. Where does? Let me check here now because this could be a bad breaker right here. So let's come over here and do it again. So over here we have 110. And here we don't have nothing, because a lot of times, guys, you could have your 110 and 110 coming in, but over on this side you could have one of these legs out because this breaker's bad. But in this part of the test here, everything is bad coming in. So this is coming in from the city, from the pole up there. So let's just one more time before let me make sure I got a good ground here. Sometimes you got a bad ground here, and but let me just find something to make sure. Okay, I want to test here. Okay, I got 110. Here I have nothing. Here I got 110. Here I have nothing. Now, if let's just say I had 110 here and 110 here, but over here I only had 110 and nothing, or then that would probably mean that this breaker is bad. But we don't actually have it here coming in from the city. So there's our issue right there. There's nothing going on in the house. It's got a bad leg from SCE. So now, see, this will be 110, and this is nothing. All we have is zero. So basically up here, guys, look, if you follow that pole up here, come over here, Ben. There's the two legs coming in plus the neutral. One of those coming up over here to that pole is dead. Right there. So, nothing to do with us today. We go from here, I guess, guys. Alrighty, well, so much for this job, Billy. What we're going to do, guys, is we're going to close up the panel, put everything back, and that'll be it. Well, guys, we'll see you at the house today. We're going to get the jacuzzi ready for draining. We'll get that drained today, and I was gonna try that new snake trap that I got from Milwaukee, or the what's it called? It's called the trap snake. Anyway, by Milwaukee, we're gonna try that out today. So this is just a little service call. I thought we were gonna have more here, but anyway. we'll get on to the house today, and we'll do the rest of what I've got planned for today, and then I'll get this video up tonight. Hey guys, we're headed home now. I called the management company. Actually, I sent them a little video clip of me testing the legs, and that way they know. And so now what happens is the management company does not call Edison. It has to be the tenant who's paying the bill. They won't accept a phone call from like the management company or even the owner. It actually has to be the person they have a contract with who pays the bill. So I did notify the lady, she wasn't home, that she needs to call Edison and tell them to come and check that leg out and see if they can't get that up and running for her. So with that being said, me and Vinny are going to head back home and see if we can't get some of those chores done that I hardly ever get done at the house. The jacuzzi, I couldn't help but do that one because I put chemicals in it once a week, and once the numbers don't go back to where they should after putting chemicals in 2 times in a row, it's a water condition issue, and you have to change the water. It's just broken down too far to get to the numbers that you need even with the chemicals. The only thing that you can do is when you put the chlorine in, you can get it up to chlorine levels where it should be, but all the pH and alkaline, they won't add up. They won't adjust. Water's too far gone. So I put that cleaner in there, that blue cleaner in there yesterday. It's been soaking all night. This morning before I left, I turned on the pumps because they run for 15 minutes just to get those pumps clean as well. And then we'll go over there and we'll drain it, and we'll see what we can get done with it. And then we're going to do that, snake that drain as well. See if we can get that trap machine to work in a lot. Alright guys, see you at the house. Hey guys, I've got all the pumps. I just got home and I turned on all the pumps. I want to show you how good that cleaner works. Normally you can see all that scum. Let me zoom in. See all that scum right there? That's what builds in or builds up on the inside of your plumbing on these things. You won't ever see none of that scum right here when you're just using it normal. What happens is when you put that chemical in there, and you run it for 24 hours, all that stuff breaks loose through all the pumps and the plumbing. And then what happens is when I get ready to drain it, as it's draining, I get some paper towels and I get the water that's in here and I wipe it off the wall as it drains. And as it drains, there's less and less of it, and then of course once it's all out, I clean the whole thing. But you guys can look right in there and see that's all coming out from the pumps. And you see, it's even in the foam. That shit's in the foam and everything. That's how it gets there. The foam, you can see that brown in the foam over here as well. So, and over there. So now, see, the pump's just shut off. It's been for 15 minutes. So now, what I'll do is I'll probably hook up a hose and start draining it in a little while. And I'll do a GFCI test. What I normally do is I go into the controls here and I put a test and I schedule it for 2 or 3 minutes from the time that I enter it, and then it'll do a GFCI test on my panel out here. Vinny installed this for me not too long ago. It's got my GFCI in here, and this goes all the way down, and it goes over here to my panel. Comes up right here, comes up right there, and then he ran it all the way around to there, and then into two 50 amp breakers in here. So he passed through the wall and into the box. That's for the air conditioning. Vinny got that all going for me before the guy came to install it. So Vinny got that 250 amp breakers going up. And I had to give up some of my 220 options in the garage in order to make that work. Otherwise, I would have had to put a new panel in. I just wasn't up for that now. So he was able to give me 250 amp circuits for this jacuzzi and 250 for my air conditioning over here. The air conditioning just went in last year. So we provided the electrical for the guy. And that was it. The electrical. Then he brought it through the attic. He brought it up by the panel and up through the attic and down here. And then, of course, the guy the day before gave us this, so we installed that. And then the guy did the rest. He wired it up and everything. So, anyway, this condensation drains here. So I put some stones here. Alicia was bitching about having to stay on this here. So now she can kind of just bear off like that. But anyway, I think I'm going to start draining this. I'll bring you up to date as we do it. But you can see as that foam goes away, that's all inside the plumbing and the pump. And they say that's from our oils, our dead skin, the hair products that we leave in our hair. Normally, I tell the kids to rinse off. I put a Moen shower valve right here with hot and cold, right there. With a shower head up, a rain drip shower head over here. I got that from my kitchen. I just went over to the kitchen, and I went right to the 2 angle stops and cut into the copper over there and brought that here. And then I got it. And if I don't tell like Kayla and Katie, if I don't tell them to use it, they'll go straight from the house into the jacuzzi, not rinse their hair out and get all that product out, or even all the sweat. I used to put some liquid soap here where they could get under here and wash their hair and their body before going in there, but they wouldn't rinse off good. And next thing you know, I had soap in the jacuzzi foaming up because they didn't rinse good. So I took that part out. I asked them, just please rinse, but you know, it's not a bad little thing here. The hot water gets to it pretty good, but it, you know, it's nice. It gives you a lot of water if you're cold. You can't get cold under this. So anyway, we'll get going on this pretty soon. Okay guys, I'm getting ready to drain this, and the foam is because before you drain it, I turned on all 3 pumps, which doesn't create this much foam. What creates this foam is the blowers, because I'm cleaning out the blowers now. For instance, I had that solution, and once it gets over here and it starts going over the top here, I shut it down like this. But all the blowers are on top of the pumps. If I would have just turned the pumps on, you would have had, you know, the rumble that you seen earlier. But not all this foam. The foam is caused by the blowers, but you have to run your blowers a little bit. I ran them 3 times since I put the solution to clean out shit in there. And that's why it's so important that once I drain this and everything is clean, spotless, what happens is once it's drained, I'm gonna have to like rinse it out good, get all the soap off of it, and get it all drained out completely. And then what happens is then I fill it back up with clear water, and then I turn on all 3 pumps and all 3 all 5 blowers, and you'll see the soap push out of those lines and into the clean water, and then I drain it one more time. And I think I did the math on it. I think it cost me like $2 and some to fill it up. It's not that much. So anyway, I'll fill it up and I'll dump it again. And when I dump it the second time, I try to put the hose in the planters so I don't waste the water, because the first time I don't want that shit in my soil. So I pump it out to where the drainage goes, like if it was raining. It's biodegradable, so it's fine. It doesn't hurt nothing, but I still don't want to put it in my fruit trees and shit. So what I do is this one I'll drain straight out to where it goes, And then the second one, I'll use the water to kind of water as I drain it out the second time. And I did shut my sprinklers off 2 days ago to get ready for that. So you can see where it's kind of a little brown there. So I'll probably water over here with it, and I'll just keep moving the hose until it's empty. That way, because if I didn't do that and I just put water in there and I don't empty it after turning on all the blowers, what'll happen is the first time we use it and we put the blowers on, you'll see a real light foam, and here you got brand new water, and because you didn't want to go the extra mile and dump it again, or if you want, just don't use this shit. Just, I don't really know if it's better or not, but I do see the soap scum that is left behind, and I figure, well, if I wasn't using this chemical and I was just dumping it and refilling it, that would be building up on the inside of the tub, which you'll see as the foam goes down. You're going to see that. I'm going to start to drain it. The way we drain it is, I got my hose ready to go here. There's a plug down there. You undo it and you pull it out halfway, and well, let's see if I can get Alicia a video. Allie, there's our little baby getting bigger. That's her little, man, I had to buy some baby gates for my room because we don't let her go in there. Hey, Allie. Okay, guys, you just reach in there. There's a cap in there that's going to be coming off, but you just grab a hold of it and you pull it out like that. Then, depending on how far you pull it and how far you push it in, I can never remember, but if I take this off, I'll show you. If I go like this, now if I push that in like this much, there's draining. So we're going to pull it back out until I get the hose hooked up to it. And then I do got to trip the switch. I was going to do a GFCI test, but I'll do it later. So anyway, you get this on like this. I don't over tighten it because I don't want to have to deal with trying to hold this with a wrench and then tighten it. I don't care if it drifts a little bit. I just get it like that. Get it about right there. Now I push it in. Now it's draining. I can feel the water. So let's go over here and let's trip the breaker before it gets too low. Got all those ants on me.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get the spray on.
Go ahead if you want. Okay, over here we're gonna trip the breaker. We're gonna hit the test button and trip it. Boom. Okay, so now we got all this going, and we'll go over here. I got all these ants crawling up my arm here. We got it draining, so I guess I'll just kind of bring it along over here a little bit more. This is all the metal that I saved my metal guy. Once I get enough metal, I call him, and he comes over and gets it. He sure appreciates it. Because in return, when I've got a water heater somewhere, he'll come to the property and get it off the, well, you've seen, well, maybe you haven't seen the videos, but whenever I got a water heater, I call him, and he comes over and gets that water heater or that stove or whatever I'm trying to get rid of for free, and throws it away. So meanwhile, while I'm doing other things, I save him whatever scrap metal I got. So anyway, he appreciates it, and I appreciate it. It works for the two of us. Alright guys, we're gonna let that drain, and we'll see how it works out. So see, it drifts a little bit there, guys. I could probably tighten that and get that drip out. It's not a big deal, but now I'm gonna have to mill around in that poison shit. I'm good though. Thank you. Alright guys, I tightened it up a little bit better. Just make sure it's coming out over here. The way this will work, it'll take quite a bit of time for this to drain. So, it's draining good. That's about how much drains out of it. Let's see. Right there. Alright guys, well, I'll give you updates as it goes. As you can see, as it's draining, look at all that soap scum and body oil. I don't know what the hell it's made up of, but that's all in your pumps. So imagine if you don't put this wash in here, that would all be staying behind, because when I drain it without this solution, it just drains and there's nothing, and you just rinse around it, wipe it off with whatever cleaner you want, and rinse it, and you're done, and fill it. You don't have to worry about double rinsing out this stuff. But if you skip this stuff, all this is building up in your plumbing parts. And I'm sure there's even more in there somewhere in the pumps. It doesn't all come out, but imagine if you don't do this at all. I do it on every change, hoping to get most of that, because this is what causes part failure. This causes your pumps and your impellers and all that crap to build up and get sticky. Okay guys, I went and pulled off all the cushions, the head cushions right there. That way I can start pre-cleaning those. I got the filters in the garage. They've been soaking all night. I usually switch out my filters every couple months. I usually keep 2 of them. This one is ready to go in. There. These filters are ready to go in. The other ones will, all the ones I'm cleaning will go over here, because I usually take out the filters once every 2 months and swap them around. So, all right. Pretty soon when this water gets lower, we'll get some paper towels, put the same solution, and wipe all that up with paper towels and get rid of it. And then once that's off, you can see how the lower level stays clean. This is all the stuff that was boiling while we had it on with pumps. That's like the majority of everything right here. So once we get a paper towel and get that off, then the rest will be done with reusable towels. You can see that stuff is floating in here, that yellowish. That's that stuff over there. Okay guys, these are the filters. You can see they're much better. They've been soaking all night. They're almost white. So what I do is I come by here all yesterday, and what I do, I'm trying not to get full of soap because I'm trying to videotape. What I do is all day yesterday, I would come by every couple hours and do this, just to get whatever's in there out. And I do this one. Now what I'll do to rinse them is I'll pull the plug, and when I pull the plug I let them drain, and then I rinse them off with this, and then I fill up the water with clean water and really rinse them good, because you don't want this residue in your new water when you put the filter in. So, and I don't really scrub these with much because I don't want to tear the fabric. These things are expensive. They're like $40 some for the big one here. So what I do is I don't like to scrub them with the brush. I just use the stream of the water here to kind of shoot in between these pleats, these cleats or whatever you call them, to get everything out of there. So that's what I'll be doing later. I usually let this soak 2 days. Okay guys, just to show you what we'll be doing here is I'm going to use paper towels to begin with, and I'll be using regular towels as we go. If you look at this, basically we just use this and work the scum off into this rag and move it around. Because if I don't use paper towels and change them fairly often, I keep rotating them until they get bad, and then I'm just rubbing dirty rags on top of, So I'm trying to get this soap scum off. I'll start here, and as you can see, I kind of just work it off like this, and once I get it off, I'll throw that paper towel away and get another one. But I'll just go around until this is completely removed, like this, with new paper towels. And like that. So I'll go around and do that, and then this soap scum there won't be no more rings as this goes down. This ring, like I said, was caused from the pump, but and what's left in here. Usually when this settles down, that's go right out the drain. So with that being said, I'm going to get to work on this ring here, and when I'm done, I'll give you an update how it's going, and we'll see what goes from here. Alright guys, I'm going to get this done. As you can see here, the hardest part to do, guys, is right in here. I got to go in here and into this well right here and then over here. This is the part I like to do first. This wears me out. And as you notice, I got the cushions out. So now we can clean under the cushions, and then I'll clean the cushions by themselves, and then go from there. So there's Alicia going at it. So we'll just pile these up somewhere on the cement, and then we'll throw them in a trash bag later. All right, guys. That's about how many paper towels we used. We didn't have to use many, and we went around the whole angle here. Alicia got where I couldn't get. Got up in there, got all that done. All the way around over there, and then over here I got some. Let's see if I can get this in here. So, and here's all nice. I don't know if we can see that. Yeah, so it's spotless in there. And now we'll just let it go down. You can see some of the scum in that foam still. It's kind of yellowish. So all that stuff will just cling to the walls as the water goes down, or cling to the flat parts, and the rest will go down the drain. And then we'll just keep wiping it. Pretty soon there'll be a point where I just get in there. I don't like getting into this stuff, to the chemicals, but they say it's biodegradable, won't hurt plants, won't hurt soil. So I figure I can get my ass in here. Usually I do, because I can only reach so much from the out part. So when the water gets down to here, I use the water, because this got a cleaner in it. This cleaner will actually take the residue off of this really easy. So I'll let it go down a couple feet, and then I'll get in there and I'll just keep redoing it. And then I put some clear wax on it. When I'm all done and it's all rinsed and it's all wiped down and it's all dry, I put ceramic coating, the same ceramic coating that I use for my vehicles. There's two of them that I like. I'll show you the two that I like. I use them both because I think one's better than the other, but I'm not sure, so I use them both. Once every 4 or 5 months, I use the one. Then 4 or 5, 6 months later, I use the other one. And I just toggle between the two of them for some reason. Anyway, so we'll check back in a little bit. This is what I use for ceramic coatings, guys. Torque is number 1, and then this guy called Next Gen, he brags to have the most amount of ceramic in his product, and Torque says, well, you don't need that much or something, and why pay for something you don't need? And Next Gen is just a little bit more money, but man, I really like what it says on their label, so I'm confused. I don't know which one to buy, so I buy both. Alright guys, I'm going to get to work on these next. Okay guys, this was on my list today to try this out. It's called the Milwaukee Trap. What's the real official name? It's called the Trap Snake. And you can either use it like this, or you can put a drill motor on it, or you can use this guy. I bought it because I had this for my toilet snake. So they say that in their commercial or their videos that you can use it without taking the trap apart. Now I showed you yesterday on my last video how I had that 3/16 snake or metric, whatever it is, and it makes it down. I think that I don't know if I've had any video of it, but I tell you, it makes it down almost every trap and every bathtub trap. So I just want to run it through. I'd rather try it on mine. That way, if I blow out, if I happen to blow out my trap, it's mine and not nobody else's. So I'm just going to hook it up, and we'll see what happens. Then you can watch it under here, but we'll see what happens.
I'm going to move the stuff or no?
No, I'll just see if it makes it through. Okay, they say when you hit it and you don't want to go through with self-feed, then you lock this nut, and then you kind of use it, you know. Right now I got to unlock it. But it's hard for me to spin anything with my fingers anymore, guys. My arthritis in there, I can't.
Oh, that's on tight.
It is?
Yeah, hold on. Let me go over here. There we go.
Okay, I have to tell you guys, this thing here has to be
Really loose.
loose. Otherwise, when you squeeze this bearing right here, it won't self-feed. So I'm going to go ahead and loosen her up. I just hate having it so loose, because when I do need to tighten it, lock it down. And this self-feed does work. I'll show you. Let's see, am I going forward or reverse? That's forward, right? So it does kind of. So we'll go ahead and get this thing going. That's what I don't like, is this stupid sumbitch comes apart all the time.
It doesn't lock in.
It's supposed to go to a certain point. Right there. There it is, guys. Yeah, yeah. So it goes in. I just didn't have it all the way. Do it like that. And then,
In all the way?
there we go.
There we go.
So, see what happens, guys. There we go. Now I'm hitting something. Let's see if it goes through. Seems like it's going, guys. The only way I can tell is if I stop it.
Let me feel the pipe.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Now I like to always run a little water, guys, to help lubricate it. The snake as it goes, but I forgot to turn on the water. But the only way I'm going to know if it's really going is to pull it out without retracting it to see how many feet I got in it. But I'm going to go ahead and I can start to smell the smell. The reason why I'm snaking it is I snaked the shower the other day, and there's a smell when I first get up in the morning. If it hasn't been running, the first water that runs down it, I can smell something like a clog or something down the line. Then for the day, you won't smell it no more. It's just every morning. So I just want to run this through there and see if I can break it up a little bit. So. Okay, I'm hitting something right there, but it went through. I'm going to see if the drum feels lighter. The drum feels a little lighter. Hey, Vinny, maybe you could go to the shower and listen for it over here and see if you can hear it, because this is where it goes. But the only way I'll know, guys, if I'm really making it through there, because you guys don't get false sense of hope with these things. A lot of times you think you're self-feeding, but this thing slips quite a bit. And you'll be sitting there thinking, man, you're making progress, and this thing isn't moving. So I guess you could mark it some way, you know what I mean? But I guess the way we're going to find out is we'll just pull it out and wrap it up and rinse it off in my shower. So I think what we'll do is...
Want to go in the shower?
No, let's just run some more. Screw it. Okay, I'm going to put some of this back inside. Get some of the slack out, and we'll just keep going with it. We'll just pull it out by hand, and we'll see how many feet we really did go. And I guess I'll take it in the backyard and dry it out. I'm going to run a little hot water, more hot water. The hot water's good for it, I guess. I'm hitting stuff in there. There, it went through whatever that was. I might be to the end or near it. Okay, so why don't we do this, guys? Why don't we undo this here and let's find out, you know, where we really are. I'll try to lock. What I'll do is I'll lock it down. We'll find out how many feet I really did go. We'll lock this down. That way it's not going out or in, and we're not fooling around, and we're not. That way, if we lock it down, we'll know what we really have. Let me see. Okay, I'm locked down. That's good. Okay, now if I can't get it to come out like that, I'll try hand turning it and pulling up at the same time. But we know it's locked, so it's not feeding out. But at the same time, to get it out, you gotta give some turns. Okay, so I'm just gonna. Okay, yeah, thank you, Vinny. I'm just gonna try to wrap it up. Okay, so I guess this went farther than what I thought.
Beautiful.
Huh?
Beautiful.
All over me.
It's alright.
Yeah, that ain't bad, is it? Not much in there, but
Did what it was
I
supposed
guess
to do.
that's the smell that I did what it was supposed to do. But
You want to wash it in the shower?
I don't know how many feet that was. Should we go
Want
out?
to take it to the grass?
Yeah, let's take it to the garage and we'll measure it. See what we got. All right, shut off the. Okay, guys, this is what it roughly went through. 7 foot. So, sure, I probably want to go more than that, but I just wanted to see if this thing would get through the trap, and it did. It did what it said it would do. It went through the trap, and whether I went far enough. That's another thing. Next time I'll let it go further. If I smell it, I won't put this away. I'll see if I smell that smell anymore, unless I got it. And if I didn't tomorrow, Sunday morning I'll get up and run it again. But this time I'll run it until that feels empty. But it did get through the trap, and that's what I really wanted to know. Now we'll go check the trap and see if there's any leaks. Make sure I didn't cause any leaks in the trap. So. Alright. Okay guys, see, as the bubbles, the suds clear up, most of that shit's in the water and gonna go out the drain. But here you can see that little yellow line right here. So it's leaving a little bit, but now we'll get in with a regular towel, not paper towel. We got the gummiest part off, and every couple of feet we'll just keep wiping it and until it's done, and then we'll rinse it and call it done. So I'll probably have to put on some shorts that are a lot shorter than what I like to wear. That way I can get in there. And,
Oh, your jean booty shorts?
I don't have jean booty shorts.
No.
Anyway, we'll go back to this in a little bit. Alright guys, I just want to make sure that by rattling around those pipes I didn't cause no leaks under there. I'm hoping that the smell, that's hot, I'm hoping that smell goes away. I don't feel like I went deep enough. I don't think 7 feet put me where I need to go. I think the 7 foot probably put me to about right here, maybe. And I probably wanted to go much more, at least past that shower, because I just snaked the shower. I know that does go into it, because I know when I had to redo the shower, I had to redo the drain, and I saw it. So anyway, just to check under here and see if there's anything dripping. See? I don't see anything dripping. So that trap did go through all that in there and through and to their sides. Good enough for me. Alright, we'll see how it smells tomorrow. If it does, I'll run it till the fucking thing is empty. What I like about that snake is that when you get to the end, it has a clamp on it where you don't pull it all the way out and then have to take it apart to get it to rotate the right, you know what I mean? It's got a clamp on it with a screw. So that's good. So, alright guys, let's get after that jacuzzi and we'll go from there. Alright. Hey guys, I wanted to do a short little video on helping people with that have these kind of stoppers. You'll see these with a lot of the Price Fister, a lot of the Kohler. Basically, they do away with the pole. But what happens is, when you first install them, they work beautiful. And then after about 6 months, people will either take them out altogether and put them somewhere, and put like a little screen that you buy at Home Depot, and you push in on the screen and it shapes to your bowl. They got them for kitchen, they got them for bathtubs, they got them for bath sinks. And I always ask them, how come you got that out? And I know the answer. And it's because, well, it don't work right. And you push it down, it won't pop up. Two things you got to know about these. Even when they're brand new, if you ever install one that's brand new and you got it installed and it's like this and it won't come back up, it won't lock. See how it won't lock? That's because you got it too deep. You just keep going, and if you get it, now see how that's sticking? That's the issue we're going to address in a minute. But sometimes once you get that loosened enough where it will work, as long as you put it down and it'll hold water, then that's where you need to leave it. Because some sinks are too deep and you put it all the way and it won't even lock. So you just unscrew that and keep checking it. And if you get to a spot that it'll lock, then make sure it holds water. And if it holds water, you're done. Now let's talk about the problem that you just saw here. My sink won't lock right here. Usually it starts to lock about right here. But now see how it's stuck? It won't pop up. That's because that gets a buildup. So let me try to get it out. So what causes that is it's all gunked up on this rubber right here. And this rubber becomes very sticky from, you know, whatever you're flushing down, whether it be body soap or, you know. So what I do is, hold this for me. Okay, I'm going to take Alicia's toothbrush right here. And what I do, I already washed this one, but I'll just give you an example. I take some warm water, and then, by the way, this ain't Alicia's toothbrush.
No, mine is over there.
And I just put a little soap on it, a couple dots here and there. And I already cleaned this one. I said, you know, I better make a video of it. And maybe it'll help some people. And then I get in there and I scrub the hell out of it. I take my time and I go all the way around. I do here, I do in there. And then on this rubber, there's a little rubber ring that will come on and off. Just leave it. And then what happens is you clean that thing spotless, go on this side of it right here, and just go all the way around. And then do here. I did it, like I said, just a few minutes ago. I'm just kind of showing you the basics. Then what will happen is, once you got it all done, you go over it with your brush to get the soap out. It's sparkling clean. Now what happens is it'll still do the same problem. Because now that this rubber went from sticky to clean, it's still sticky in a sense. And if you look at the ones, now watch. I'm going to get it here. Now it won't stick, see? So I got to find my spot. My spot's about right there. But yet, watch. Eventually it'll get stuck like it did a few minutes ago. Because it's wet right now. It's wet. And you saw before it wasn't sticking. I mean, it was sticking. Oh, I see why. Because I got all that soapy water there. That soapy water makes it more lubricant. I want to get it to where I had it. Basically, you saw me take it in and out. And you saw both times that it was sticking. And so this is too deep. It won't lock. So I go to where it will. That locks there. But then eventually, it's funny, it won't do it. Anyway, you guys saw when I was, there it is. See how it's sticking? So what you do is just get it out. And the way to stop that, if you look at the factory, when you install this, you'll see they have a nice little lubricant around that. And it's hard not to see it. It comes from the factory. So I just dry it off really good, like that. And then I take a little plumber's grease. I keep a little bottle down here, right there. And I just put a little on my finger. A little dab will do you. I'm almost out. I need to get some more. Let me see if I can get it this way. More arthritis, guys. Okay, I take that. And then I just smear it around. And I do the top side first. Just go around it like that. And then do on the back side of it right here on both sides of the rubber. Just smear it down and you will have trouble-free usage for about 3 months. 3 months, you'll do it again. Now watch, I'm going to put it in. I'm going to take it down to where it won't lock. See, back it off to where it will lock. And now look, that thing will work flawlessly for months. But you got to just realize you're going to have to wash it first. And you, if you would have saw the first wash that I gave it, there was stuff coming out of it. and that's what gums up. But once you plumbers, once you do that, now watch. So I go here to see. Now if you're one of the lucky ones that you screw it down like that and it works and it clicks, then you don't need to do no more. But on some of these things, you have to back it off a little bit, and there we go. Now let's see if it holds. So we go ahead and fill that up, and if it holds for you like that, we're good to go. Now we'll unlock it, and there you go. You'll have 2 to 3 months of good usage. Just remember, it's the plumber's grease that's doing the magic. Okay, guys? I thought I'd put that little video together for you. I've got another video coming of this morning's job and a few things that I'm doing around the house. I hope that shit don't bore you, but anyway, I'm going to put this one out right now. Hey guys, you can notice the water level has gone way down, but you know, the time to clean this, instead of letting all the water go out, is to do it in segments, and it just works out better for me, and then at the end it's done. Anyway, I'll show you how I do it. I actually get into this thing. I'll let Alicia hold it, and I use towels in this case. This is a good one. You gonna wash this after?
Yeah, this is right there.
I usually use towels that are worn out, but basically I'm gonna get in here. The water's warm. That's the good news, since I don't have to worry about that. And I just kind of hate. I just get here and I start. As you can see here, I use that same soapy water. I just start at one spot, and usually it's the spot I hate the most, which is this one. And I get in there and I just work myself around. Kenny's helping. Here I got to see what's going on here. Well, I won't bore you with this. This takes special detail, so I'll get back on that after. But for now, I'm just going to attack the ring using the same water in here. And do all these like that. And go at it. I'll go about 6 inches under. And then once this has time to settle some more, I'll get back up here and do it again. Anyway, this is what I'm going to be doing for the next 15-20 minutes, and then I'll give you an update. See you guys in a bit. Okay guys, basically we did what we could, went about 6 inches beneath the water line, and what I did do was I took my water hose, and because we had cleaned this too, so I rinsed it off with the water hose, and I took fresh water and washed it around the part that we've done so far. And now I'm going to let it drain a couple more feet, and I'm going to just keep getting after it until it's all drained out tonight. And then tomorrow I'll get up and I'll get some vinegar, 100% vinegar. As you can see, one of these, you can't see, but this one is stuck. It's just full of scum and locked, barely will turn, where these guys are pretty good. So stuff like this I'm going to hit with vinegar really hard and try to work it in until it starts to spin. And just go from there. So it takes a little work. That's why I do it about once every 6 to 8 months. Okay guys, we're gonna get this filter done. That way they can start drying outside. I just basically give them a couple of these all the way out. I fill up the inside, and then that's it. And then on the when I drain the water out of here, then I start to rinse them, and I make sure that there's no particles in them. Like right here, you can see some particles right there. I make sure that I spray all that crap out. Now that bugs me since I saw it.
I imagine the solution that you're using on these filters, all that work is doing.
Yeah.
Imagine that to the drain after you flush it. It's
Yeah.
going to be a pretty good thing.
So anyhow, that should come right out. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull a plug on this rather, guys. It's hard to get it out.
No, don't pull it. Just kind of tilt it to the
That's
the
what I'm
side.
doing.
Okay.
So anyway, now I'll let that drain, and then after it drains, what I'll do is I'll go ahead and I'll take this and I'll make sure I do each pleat like this. Of course, this will be empty, but I'll just end up washing every pleat to get all the stuff out of it. Then once that's done, then I'll probably spray a little when it's empty. It'll be sitting on the salt, and I'll just spray a little bit in here and go around it. But then what I do is I fill this up with fresh water, and I just soak the hell out of it. And if the water looks pretty clear, I'm done. If not, I'll drain it and do it one more time. So, all right, well, I'll get this done, guys, and then we'll get back to that jacuzzi. Okay, guys, I basically drained it all, and then I rinsed the pollutes out with this. Did everything, held it underwater. Now this is the water change. As you can see, all the soap's coming out of there. I just basically submerge it, let the water fill up in there, and then when I raise it up, the water comes out the pollutes like that, and really rinses it good. Myself, I would say that I don't think I need to fill it up again, because the soap isn't that bad. I think it's rinsed enough. Plus, I'll give it one more rinse with the hose. So I wouldn't say I need to fill this up. There is some suds in there, but it's very little. So I would say this is probably good enough. I don't know. I'm going to pull it and then rinse it off and call it done. Okay, guys. Everything is... all the water's almost out. When it gets to about that level, that's when we take a cloth and we wipe the whole thing down and get every little smudge of dirt out. And then when that goes completely out, you'll see a lot of black little, I guess from the seats, the flaking of the seats. When they get old, they start to flake. These are the second ones I've had to order. Anyway, they start to flake, and you'll see a lot of that on the bottom. And Alicia will get a wet rag and mop them up, and 2 or 3 rags, and we'll have it all out. What we do next is, before we fill it up to flush the lines, and you guys will see how important it is to flush these lines after you use a chemical. If you're not using a chemical, then you could just fill it right back up right now and be done with it. But because there's chemical flush in here, when I fill it up and I flush it, you'll see it. But for now, what's going to happen is it makes no sense to do that until I get the vinegar. My daughter's working out somewhere. She went to her fitness place. She's going to bring home a gallon of vinegar for me. What we do is, as you saw here, I had some rough ones. We just shoot vinegar, 100% vinegar in there, and work it around with our finger, and then shoot it again and let it set a little bit. And then before I flush it out, I just go ahead and get the spray hose, and I just spray everywhere I had vinegar just to dilute it a little bit. And then we fill that sucker up, and we turn on the pumps for a few. And as you can see, it's spotless. Everything is spotless. And that's because of that solution. That solution really does clean the pumps and the lines and everything, but it also cleans the fiberglass. Now, I did rinse it with the hose. I got the hose just a few minutes ago before we were detailing it. And I did spray the whole thing off to get this residue off of here, that water. But there's really not much of a residue. It's almost like pure water. But hey, as we can see, it did work. You saw all that. If I would have normally just drained it without putting that solution, there would have been none of that scum along the sides. It would have just stayed in the lines, and there it would live until it started to break your system down. Okay, guys, we got 100% vinegar. I think it calls for 80-20, but I just go 100%. And then, like, we've got one of these over here. Come this one right here. Really stiff. Probably might not even be able to free it up. But take some of this vinegar and get it in there, and then let it soak a few. And see if it'll break loose in a little while. Try to get something going here. And then there we go. Now we got it. See, it broke loose. So now a little more vinegar. We want to do all the vinegar before we rinse it out and do a final flush. That way we get that shit out. But anyway, I'm just trying to let this one soak up a little bit, like that. And then maybe some more, like that. So we'll see here. Alright, I'm going to let that soak for a while, guys. I don't know. Okay, that's on. This is off, which don't make no difference. So okay, so I'm gonna go ahead, guys, and get this spraying and work them all, just like that. I'm gonna do them all, and then Alicia will go behind me and try to get them going after they set. I don't want to bore you guys, so basically I'm going to go do this to all the jets, and then she'll make sure they're all freed up, and then we'll just rinse them with water and let it roll down into there. We'll fill this thing up to about right here, turn on all the pumps and flush it, and then drain it overnight. Tomorrow morning I can fill it back up and we're done. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead. I won't bore you with this shit. We'll get this done. Okay guys, as you can see, I got this really good. Before it was stiff. Look at that thing, spins all around. Look at that. Okay guys, I think this is working a lot better now. Look at that. It's really rotating good. Before it was really bad. Okay guys, it's all cleaned up. We vinegared all the jets and made them work. Even this problem one right here, look at that. Look at that thing spin. That vinegar really does a number. So you can replace these, you can take them out, but sometimes when you unlock them you can cause a leak and then you're screwed. Now you have to take off the skirts, you have to cut away the foam, then you got to refoam it. It's just a pain in the ass. It's better, even if this didn't want to free up, I wouldn't even fuck with it. I would just leave it rather than try to screw with it. Anyway, what you do is, before I filled it up with water, I took the hose and I flushed out. I flushed that out and I flushed the other one out, and a little bit of water came in, soapy water, but it was enough to flush those out, and we scooped it out. That way, because what's going to happen is, I'm going to fill it up to where it's reasonable so I don't hurt the pumps. We're going to turn on the pumps and it's going to siphon itself automatically through a program, and when it does that, you're going to see that blue soapy water come out through all those at one, like maybe just for a second, 2 seconds at the most, and then it's going to be running clear. It mixes with all that clear water, and then I just flush it out. But this time I'm not going to flush it out to the street. I'm going to run it overnight. I'm going to open it when I'm done. This will happen tonight. I'll fill it up, flush it, and then I'll hook the hose up, and I'm going to put it somewhere over here in the brown area. And around 4 or 5, I always wake up. I'll pull the hose, and I'll just keep pulling the hose along here and just water my grass with it. You know, it's better than just tossing it. On the other one, I toss it because I don't, you know, I don't know what they say. It's biodegradable. It won't hurt plants. It won't hurt nothing. You know, but still, we'll see. All right, guys, I'm gonna get this filled up. Once it's filled, I'll have it go through its system, and you'll be able to see how it flushes all that crap out. Hey guys, while I'm waiting for that jacuzzi to fill up tonight, I have a few projects I'm going to do tomorrow. You know, I have a DeWalt planer that's battery operated, same 20 volt, and I've got the orbital sander that's 20 volt, but I always make a mess with it, and I always had a hard time trying to find the end that that DeWalt uses that locks into both those tools. And luckily enough, they're both the same. So I was able to find this on Amazon. That locks in with the ball bearings. You twist it and those lock. And then, of course, what I have to do is they say to take this nozzle off counterclockwise. It's reverse threads, I'm sorry. So, but it says in order to use this, you should put some adhesive on the threads when you thread that in. But now my problem is, what am I going to use for a standard tip for this, that, and for this guy? You know, this here has this, and this one has that, but I wouldn't be able to use it. Or maybe I could. I mean, I didn't think about that. Maybe that would lock in. Let me see. Hold on, guys. Let me see if it works. I can't hold this at the same time. Well, guys, I just learned something. This, if I change this to that, this would lock onto these two tools. These two tools have those ribs. So it locks on perfectly, and the bearings lock, and it won't come off. I'm trying to pull it off. So, Al, come here, please. So anyway, I'm going to get my camera person over here. Hold this for me. I want to show everybody how this adapter works. And now I'll tell you what my thoughts were. Okay, hold that. Anyway, I didn't think if I took this off and put this on, that it would work with this stuff. But it will. See these ribs? I put that in, and then I lock it, and it won't come off. Unlock it, it comes off. I didn't believe that would work. So what I did is I just bought an extra hose. Comes in a 2-pack, it wasn't much. And I figured I'll go ahead and break this end off, and then glue, because they want you to use silicone, I'll use black, and thread it on here, and then I would have both hoses, because it's easy to disconnect that. You just disconnect it right there. So bottom line is I'll be able to, so anyway, I'm still going to go ahead with my plan. I'm going to go ahead and take one of these, this end off, put this end on, and then I'll have this hose for my planer and my sander, and then just keep the standard hose for all this shit. That way, because this is kind of awkward or big, I'm not sure, but you know, I don't know. Maybe it would be all right, but I have a funny feeling maybe the weight, I don't know. I don't know if it's a good idea or not. I'll think about it tonight and decide, because I mean, it works, but I would probably get tired of playing with those bearings when they get full of dirt and they don't lock right. I want to be able just to slide something on here real fast and be done with it. Once these start to get dirty, these bearings in here, when you lock it, sometimes you have a hard time getting it to click. So I don't think I want to deal with that. So I think I'm going to keep this hose for here, and then take one of these and glue it onto here. You got to remember it's reverse thread, so I'll have to remember that. But once you do, is once you get this off, then you put some silicone around it on this end. That way when you thread it on right there and it goes down, you push the silicone this way. If I was to put the silicone on this end and then I thread it, it's going to push the silicone up this direction and get all over my fitting. So it's better to take this off, stretch out, put some silicone, and then thread it on, and the silicone will spread this way. Anyway, that's for tomorrow. And then Josh has been asking me to fix that little rake. It's no big deal. I mean, everybody can do it. I know that, but it's kind of fun sometimes to have projects. So I'll explain that one tomorrow. We'll try to work on that one tomorrow. But anyway, I just thought I'd show you what got going here. Try to have this back in service for Monday. All right, guys. We'll see you at the jacuzzi. Okay, this is for my little baby. She's doing good. She pees in the kitchen on her mat, and she pees on that mat when she's playing in here with me. But anyway, I'll use this. Okay, basically I decided to leave this hose alone. That way, whenever I want it, I can just push it on like that, and I don't have to worry about these freezing up or getting dirty and not working when I want. So this here, what I'm going to do is stretch it out, and then it's reverse threads, so I'm going to try to tighten this way. Okay. They didn't put much glue, there's just a little bit. But they say on this one to put silicone, so I'm going to do it. So I guess what I'll do is I'll just get this shit going like that, and then I'll wipe that shit off. Something like that, I guess. And then this little bit that's going in, I'll get something to wipe that off with. Kayla, Katie,
Yeah?
have me a paper towel, please.
Alright. Can you ask where the bananas are? Where are the bananas?
I don't know, but give me a minute and you can have her. Okay, guys, I'm just going to take this little bit off right here. And then we'll get this started here, I guess. So I put it on this end. That way as it threads down, it pushes this downward instead of upward. If I put it in here and I thread upward, all that shit's going to come up in here. Let's see if we can keep it as clean as possible. Let's see. So if I go that way, I'm sorry. Yeah, I gotta go that way. Let's see. Yeah, reverse thread. Okay. I'm gonna stretch it out a little bit. Now I can see, guys, I kind of already fucked up. I think I should have put gloves, but I'm gonna clean this mess up. Allie, you're the specialty. Can you kind of clean this up for me?
Okay.
I just want to make sure that I get this on tight. So I go here. That's pretty tight. Okay, guys, it's filled up. It's above each jet. That's safe operation. It usually goes up a little higher, but for safe operation, this is it. So I'm going to take this out like this. Then I'm going to turn it on, and it's going to go through its own setup once it's basically siphon the jets. So I'm not going to force it through. I'm just going to come over here and turn it on, and it will do its own thing. It's all lit up. And what will it say here? Let's see what it says. Yeah, it says Artesian Spas. It says initializing. If I want to, it's priming. It's in priming mode right here. If I wanted to avoid all that, I could go here, but I want it to prime. That way I don't have to do it. So we'll just watch it, and hopefully I'll be able to catch the soapy water coming out of it. You can see the suds come right out over there. That's pump 1. You can see like it was a little bit sudsy, not much, but last time it was a lot more. Okay, now maybe when it goes to those guys, it's priming them all. Yeah, it's a little bit sudsy, not bad this time. Really not bad this time. Alright, well, I guess there's not going to be much to see. I thought it was going to give you what I saw last time. That was sort of a dud. I kind of feel like I don't even need to. I don't even think I need to dump it and fill it up again. Nothing hardly came out this time. I guess winner chicken dinner, I guess. Okay, guys, let's turn all the blowers on. Shit, that hurts, guys. Everything hurts more when you get older. Let's put this one on. This one on. It's a little bit sudsy. Yeah, I'm going to go put those on. I just don't want to end up inside with my phone. Oh, there it is, guys. Ah, watch out. There it is right there. I knew I'd pick something. Right there, that's the shit I was telling you about when I turned on the blowers. Right here. See that? That's the shit I was talking about. Right there. Look at that. That's what I was trying to get out of the lines. Because if I would have just filled it up and forgot about it. There it is, look. All that's coming out of those blowers. After cleaning it. Now, when I rinse it, and even over here, look guys. So, I'm just going to let it run. And then I'm going to let it drain tonight, and then I'll clean it. Good thing we did it. I'm glad we did it. That would have been it. That's coming out all of the blowers. Alright guys, I'm going to let it run 15 minutes, maybe even 20, and then I'm going to drain it for tonight. I'll try to get this video up tonight, and I'll do the final tomorrow. Alright guys, I'm going to try to edit this video. Alicia got it all cleaned up for me, even in between the ribs. Look at that, beautiful. So, anyway, it's ready. I'll let it set up all night. They say to glue it on. Because it'll work its way off, and since you're working with dust from the sawdust from the sander, they said it'll actually leak out, so it's good to put silicone. So that's what I did. I got sloppy, didn't mean to, but I did, and Alicia cleaned it up for me. Hey guys, if I didn't do that pre-flush, this is what I would have ended up with, and I probably would have had to just go around with a towel and try to get it off. But you don't know how hard it is to get that off with just water. It's so sticky. You actually have to have the chemical in the water to get it off. So what I do now is I take that same chemical and I put it in a little bit in a spray bottle, and then I use it straight from the bottle with a sprayer on it, and I just spray the areas and it comes right off, especially when it's 100%. So basically what I think I did last year was I put a spray bottle, a small spray bottle from maybe here to about right here, and I put 50% water and 50% that cleaning solution, and then I just sprayed it on the walls and wiped it clean wherever I needed to. Then I rinsed the walls off and I let that water drain, and then I filled it up, and I didn't have this problem when I do the second time. This only happens if when you do the pre-flush. You know, flush it with the soap, drain it, fill it, flush it again with all the blowers and everything on. Then you get this shit, then you clean it, and then when I turn it back on, there won't be no issue.